The eastern terminal of the Colombo Port was the subject of debate in Parliament today.
කවුද පිළිතුරු ලබා දෙන්නේ සභානායකතුමා?
සාගල ඇමතිතුමාට උත්තර දෙන්න ඕනේ. එතුමා අද කල්ලිලේ එතුමා විදේශක පැහැදිලි පිළිතුරක් දෙනවකෝ ඊළඟට ආපු දවසේ.
දැන් ওই විදිය
You agreed in a similar manner when I raised the question regarding the EPF fund last week. The Prime Minister is in Parliament today. You were questioned on this, but still there is no answer.
නමුත් එහෙම පිළිතුරක් අද තාවම නැහැ.
අර්ථසාධකර
The government is responsible for the funds of the Employees Provident Fund. The government is the guarantor. I accept that I said an answer will be provided. An answer will be provided within this week.
මේ සතිය ඇතුළත මම උත්තරයක් ලබා දෙන්න.
සමහර කුකුල් කූඩු බාර දෙන්න දීපු නරියොත් කියනවා අපි කුකුල්ලු ගැන වග කියනවා කියලා. මම දන්නවා අර්ජුන.
When Minister Arjuna Ranatunga was in charge of the ports, he presented a cabinet paper on how the eastern terminal can be used to generate income for the country while keeping it with the Ports Authority. But what did you do? You rejected this cabinet paper. But when a proposal was made to hand it over to India and Japan, this cabinet agrees unanimously. According to reports, the government has made the hasty decision to enter into this agreement with India when the results of the Indian election were coming in confirming Narendra Modi as the next Prime Minister, and they succumbed to Indian influence. Especially with China positioning itself in the Colombo port, it is clear that India also had an intention to station themselves in the port too. The steps taken by this government to sign this agreement can be depicted as a payment of bribes for a previous guarantee. Has the handing over control of the eastern terminal of Colombo Port to India and Japan concluded? Who decided that the eastern terminal cannot be developed and cannot be used to generate an income if it is not handed over to a foreign nation? What are the parameters used to determine this? Does the government accept that being deprived of the control of strategic locations in the country affects the sovereignty of the country?
සුරිත්වයට තර්ජනයක් බව ආණ්ඩුව විසින් පිළිගනු ලබන්නේද?
හැබැයි මම
But I would like to remind you that we do not have the capital to develop these institutions, so we need to bring in the capital. Our annual income is insufficient to pay off our loan premiums and interest. Air Lanka can be run for a profit, but we do not have the capital to develop it, so we must acquire the capital. The Prime Minister will provide an elaborate answer.
ඉතින් ප්‍රාග්ධාරය ගන්න ඕන අගමැතිතුමා දීර්ඝ උත්තරයක් දෙන්න.
එයා ලංකේකේ නඩ
It is true that the government is spending a large amount for the maintenance of Air Lanka. But in this case, the Ports Authority provides a large sum of money that they earn back to the country's treasury. So the Ports Authority clearly showed that the development of the eastern terminal had concluded. There was only a requirement to purchase container cranes. Only 800 million rupees was required. Can't you provide this 800 million rupees? At least this agreement was not presented to Parliament. There was no debate held in Parliament regarding handing over this terminal to India and Japan. I do not know if the backbench MPs of the UNP even know about this. Does this Parliament know about this? Does this country know about this? A small group that convenes at temple trees are signing agreements to sell off the country.
මේ රටේ විකිණීම ගිවිසුම් අත්සන් කරනවා.
ඒ විකිණීමක් නෙවෙයි සර්. විකුණලා නැහැ. පාර්ට්නර්ෂිප් එකක් එකට කරනවා.
Minister Kirialla, we respectfully remind you of these facts. There are fundamental factors that have to be ensured for investments to be attracted. It should be a real investment that brings in foreign revenue and generate employment opportunities for the unemployed youth in the country. But it seems as if an attempt is being made to generate revenue through the eastern terminal of the Colombo Port by setting up a company using funds obtained through a loan from Japan. The eastern terminal is a high-value property of the Colombo Port, located strategically in the center of the east-west shipping route. A large portion of this terminal has already been developed through loans obtained by Sri Lanka. It is the opinion of Minister Kirialla that the country does not have sufficient funds to complete the development of this terminal. However, the people of the country question as to why the same opinion was not considered when loans were taken from Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank in Japan at an exorbitant interest rate for the construction of the Central Highway. If the country has a shortage of capital, is there any favorable result in making such hasty investments while becoming debtors to the world? This begs the question, who is the real beneficiary of these massive development projects done with funds obtained through loans? While these leaders complain of a lack of capital to safeguard national assets, isn't spending money on these wasteful projects pulling the people further down an endless abyss of debt?